Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. Many people are looking at Tesla's deliveries in the wrong context. People are too concerned about total deliveries for the year by factoring in Austin and Berlin, and now, as a result, if anything, the sentiment of investors is disappointed at how fewer deliveries there will be without those two factories opening earlier and being delayed. But in the scheme of things, this is all inconsequential. Okay, so the factories may be 1 or 2 months delayed in their opening. Well, so what? I mean, that's nothing. Give them a break. Often projects like this can be delayed a year or more. We just lost a couple of months or so because they're not opening as early as we once hoped. And the Berlin issues are red tape, not actually anything Tesla can even be blamed for. This is no big deal. The fact they're near completion and already testing production is a far bigger deal. The fact we're about to have 2 new factories capable of perhaps 4 times the current capacity, that is the real story. Not the fact that they've been delayed a month or 2. In the meantime, whilst their demand soars to all-time highs. And now in the US, with Tesla cars also inevitably going to be receiving tax credits of probably around $8,000 per vehicle in the US, will only further exasperate the long waiting list. Tesla will have no issue for demand for their cars from Austin, so everything will be done for the factory to reach capacity as soon as possible. I think this is also most likely going to be resorting to LFP iron-based batteries for a standard range version using CATL's batteries. CATL have the most battery supply, assuming we do not run into component issues, and then soon enough the 4680s should be in production too for the Cybertruck, the vehicle with the most pre-orders ever in history. I'm hearing Texas may have between 2 to 4 million capacity, but eventually more, and Berlin may be half that size again. I believe the next closest BEV manufacturer would be Volkswagen, with a capacity of something like 3 to 400,000, whereas Tesla's total capacity from all their factories when complete is going to be more like 4 to 6 million. This is quite a difference between the number 1 BEV manufacturer and the number 2. This is what growing at exponential rate does. Of course, Tesla's EVs are also profitable. And as we know, to make an EV with positive cash flow, well, that is excruciating. Do you think Herbert Diess has been through that much pain yet? How many times has he slept on the factory floor, do you suspect? Anyway, instead we hear a few disappointed investors, or FUD from the media about how badly this is all going. It's no big deal. The end is in sight. Any delay in building the factory simply means there'll be more components available for them, along with more batteries. Tesla will still be accumulating as many of the necessary parts, and we've seen how many die casts they are producing on site already. They're not messing around. What if these factories ramp up as fast as the Model Y in China? Or what if even faster using the front and rear die casting? What's that, about 300 less robots per die cast per vehicle? Sounds like a big deal to me. This is crazy. It's such a big deal. It should be all that's talked about. The anticipation of finally witnessing what Tesla can achieve since it became this behemoth of a company, and how soon it's going to open. But instead, the vibe is that it's taking forever and having lots of issues. But these were some seriously big project, and we have to hear about the Cybertruck being pushed back too, which is also not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Okay, it's been delayed by around a year, but this is likely due to Tesla not having sufficient 4680 battery supply, as they have still not perfected the run rate. It's obviously improving dramatically now, and who knows, maybe they'll get it working sooner, and the Cybertruck will come out sooner than they're saying. But if Tesla are aiming for a run rate of about 100 gigawatt hours at the end of 2022, around the time the Cybertruck launches, well, that should be enough batteries for over 1 million Cybertrucks a year. So I think Tesla want to make sure they have their 4680 battery production sorted first. The Cybertruck will take priority of the 4680 batteries over the Model Y, and 2170 and LFP batteries may be used for the Model Y for some time. We may not see the 4680 versions of the Model Y until perhaps within 2023. Anyway, all this negative news is also distracting from just how well Tesla are doing in China. Like I said in a previous video, they're still ramping up crazy, estimated to have achieved a run rate of 360,000 units a year for the Model Y, when initially we had a claimed capacity of 200,000. In other words, almost about twice what we were told they were capable of. Everyone is too distracted about the issues we're seeing in Berlin or the Cybertruck, and not taking into consideration how fast Tesla are ramping up their Model Y still. This is huge, and I believe it's because of the introduction of the standard range and the ability to have abundant battery supply from CATL, which makes me think there is a huge chance that Texas will also offer the standard range. The factory has such a large capacity, we don't want the production capacities to be hindered by battery constraints. No chance Tesla will do this. It makes no sense building such a big factory to only use 10% of its capacity in the first year, especially if the standard range gets a tax incentive. Not only that, everyone's calculations of what Tesla is capable of per square foot at Berlin and Texas, well, the most accurate example would have been the latest Model Y factory, which was indeed obviously Giga Shanghai. Well, the thing is, if the estimates of the potential of the new factories were based on Giga Shanghai Model Y performance, but now we've seen that Tesla can likely double their alleged capacity for Model Y in Shanghai, well then, what does that mean? What Berlin and Texas are capable of may also be twice what we estimated, except they'll also have front and rear die casting, along with many other advantages to improve production per square foot over what Shanghai has. But anyway, what really matters is how many cars Tesla will be making soon enough, and what run rate they'll actually reach, not by when they reach it. I mean, just picture yourself in the future in perhaps a few years. What if Tesla at a run rate of perhaps 3 million cars a year? Are you going to care if Berlin opened in September or October then? Exactly. Focus on the actual numbers. They say a lot more. The numbers are that Tesla have almost doubled their claimed capacity for Giga Shanghai. Tesla have a waiting list half a year for their long-range and performance Model Ys in the US alone. Tesla can offer Model Y at nearly $20,000 cheaper when the tax credit comes in, and if they offer it as a standard range Model Y. Tesla's capacity is about to increase 4 times. Tesla's production costs per vehicle will be significantly less in this new factory. Yet I feel there is much more emotion on the frustration of these new factories not opening. The actual point is that Tesla have just about pulled it off, and these factories are going to open very soon. Same for Tesla's 4680 batteries. It can be achieved. It's not a matter of if, but when. And the when window is not in the too distant future. After a few years go by, you'll forget about all these days and not care in the slightest, and you'll forget all about it as Tesla starts beating 1 million deliveries a quarter. Just stay focused on the big picture and the real numbers that actually matter. Next year will be a pivotal year for Tesla. A lot more information about the company will be revealed. We'll be able to use this information to base more solid numbers and work out more accurate predictions of where Tesla are going to be in a few years from now. More of Tesla's plans will unfold in front of our eyes, and I'm sure there'll be some surprises for us along the way that will inevitably blow our minds once again. And the way Giga Shanghai is headed, with all the ramping up, well, the delivery numbers for the year might end up being a bit higher than we expect anyway, and there's still a chance we might get a couple of months out of Texas and Berlin production in too. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.